My beloved, in a world overflowing with noise, sharp criticisms, whispers of doubt, and storms raging within the heart, there is a place where you can find peace. Silence. Not an empty silence, but a sacred sanctuary where the winds cease to howl and the heart is soothed. Like gentle rain falling on a parched field, silence nourishes the soul, bringing life to weary days. It is not the absence of words, but the presence of a profound strength, where you hear the whisper of the one who crafted the heavens and the seas. When standing before the crashing waves of life, you may feel the urge to shout, to respond, to prove your worth. But my dear, not every thought needs to be spoken, and not every word spoken needs to come from your lips. My mother, a woman with hands roughened by toil, once sat by the fire and told me, "Not every thought needs to be spoken, and not every word spoken needs to come from your lips." Those words, like moonlight piercing the dark night, reminded me that restraint is not weakness, but wisdom forged through time. Silence is a mountain standing firm amidst roaring winds. It does not sway before gossip, nor collapse under the weight of misunderstandings. Think of a river flowing quietly past sharp rocks. It does not argue with the stones, nor roar at the banks, yet it moves steadfastly, carrying the strength of persistence. So too, when you choose silence, you are not surrendering the fight. You are choosing a higher path, where the one who painted the stars will fight for you. In the Bible, there is a story of a woman named Hannah, kneeling in the temple, speaking no words, yet her heart cried out fiercely. Her silence was not defeat, but a prayer that echoed to the heavens, bringing blessings beyond measure. Have you ever stood beneath an ancient tree, listening to the rustle of leaves in the breeze? That is how God often speaks, not through thunder, but through gentle whispers. If you are too busy with justifications, you might miss his voice. There was a woman I once met, standing quietly in the corner of a hospital room as her family faced loss. She spoke no words, but her eyes shone with faith. Later, she shared that in that silence, she felt God's comfort, like sunlight breaking through heavy clouds, dispelling her pain. Her silence became a sanctuary, where she found the strength to carry on. Silence is not merely an act, but an invitation. It calls you to stop chasing the world's noise, to cease trying to please those who do not understand you. It invites you to stand still, like a calm lake reflecting the sky, to see more clearly the purpose God has placed within you. When you are silent, you open your heart to healing, to hope, and to the voice of the one who loves you above all. My dear, let silence become your crown, not because you have nothing to say, but because you know the value of what is being built within you. My beloved, when words sharp as knives cut through your heart, when doubting glances weigh heavy on your shoulders, and when gossip crashes like waves against a rocky shore, your soul may tremble. But in that moment, there is a power the world cannot touch: silence. Like a seabird gliding quietly through a storm, silence is not escape, but a shield protecting you from the arrows of conflict. It is an invisible armor woven from grace and faith, preserving your dignity amidst trials. There are days when you will be provoked. Harsh words will try to drag you into their battles. Misunderstandings will paint a false picture of you. But my dear, silence is your shield. It not only guards you from speaking words that might burn bridges God is still building, but it keeps your heart at peace when the world tries to shatter it. Think of a great rock standing firm in a rushing torrent. The water roars and crashes, yet the rock remains unmoved, unyielding. Your silence is like that, a steadfast strength, allowing you to stand firm without responding. I once knew a man named Joseph, working in a small woodshop. He was misunderstood by colleagues, falsely accused of ruining a major project. People criticized and pointed fingers, but Joseph chose not to speak. He quietly continued his work, his hands smoothing each grain of wood, his eyes alight with faith. In time, the truth came to light, and those who had criticized him came to apologize. He smiled and said, "I didn't need words to prove myself. I knew God saw." Joseph's silence was not weakness, but a flame burning quietly, strong enough to melt away lies. In the Bible, there is a story of a shepherd named David standing before the giant Goliath. Before slinging his stone, David did not answer the enemy's taunts. He remained silent, letting his heart settle, placing his trust in the one guiding him. That silence was not fear, but preparation for victory. So too, when you face the giants of life, injustice, betrayal, or slander, you don't need to shout to prove you're right. You don't need to answer every accusation, for God, who parted the seas and calmed the storms, stands by your side. He sees all, and he keeps records not in ink, but in eternity. Silence not only protects you, but it confounds your adversaries. When you don't respond, when you refuse to be drawn into pointless arguments, you make those who wish to see you fall pause and wonder. Like the dawn, quietly dispelling the darkness, your silence can soothe anger and dissolve venomous words. I once saw a young mother facing harsh judgment from her husband's family. They said she wasn't good enough, not strong enough to raise her child alone. But she didn't argue. She quietly cared for her child, wiping away tears in the night, praying in stillness. Years later, her child grew to be a source of pride, and those who judged her bowed in respect. Her silence was a cool breeze, blowing through sweltering days, bringing wordless healing. My dear, when you choose silence, you don't relinquish your power. You entrust it to the one with greater power. Like a calm sea before a storm, your silence declares that you don't need to fight every battle with words. God will fight for you, and he has never lost. Silence is how you keep your soul pure, untainted by bitter words. It is how you protect your dreams, keeping them safe in the hands of the one who loves you. So when criticisms come, when the winds blow fiercely, stand still. Let silence be your shield, and let God be your strength. My beloved, in a world where the noise of judgment and rivalry echoes endlessly, there is a quiet yet invincible strength. Silence. Not the silence of submission, but the silence of a soul that knows its worth, like a mountain standing tall amidst a whirlwind, needing no roar to prove its presence. It is a flame burning quietly in a hearth, needing no explosion to radiate warmth. When you choose silence before criticisms, before doubtful glances, you are not weak. You are cloaking yourself in the mantle of confidence, woven from the faith that you need, prove nothing to anyone but the one who created you. Silence is the quiet strength of those who know who they are. Silence is strength. It is the quiet strength of one who knows their worth. It does not need to shout to be heard, nor argue to be recognized. Think of an ancient tree in a forest, its roots anchored deep in the earth. Though winds howl and storms rage, it stands firm, needing no waving branches to boast its strength. So too, when you are silent, you are not invisible. Your silence does not make you invisible. It makes you invincible. It is a declaration that you don't need the world's applause to know your value, that your dignity lies not in words, but in the steadfastness of your soul. There are moments, my dear, when your heart burns with words longing to be spoken, words of defense, of protest. But when you hold your peace, you preserve your tranquility, like a still lake holding the image of a clear sky. I once knew a young teacher, criticized by colleagues for her dedication. They called her too idealistic, too different. She didn't respond. She quietly prepared her lessons, nurturing each student, letting her work speak for her. Years later, those students became community changers, and the echo of her silence drowned out all gossip. Her silence, like a stream weaving through rocks, was quiet but strong enough to wear down any obstacle. Silence not only keeps you steady, but it safeguards your future. Every word you don't speak in anger, every sentence you hold back in pain, is a brick paving the path to your dreams. Like a seed lying still in cold soil, awaiting spring, your silence is preparation for a radiant harvest. I once met a man working in a small tailor shop. He was overlooked by his superiors, denied promotions for being not prominent enough. He didn't argue. He quietly honed his skills, perfecting each stitch, and eventually opened his own shop. His silence, like moonlight guiding through the dark, led him through hardship to a bright future. When you choose silence, you not only protect yourself, but you let the light within you shine. The world may want you to shout, to chase meaningless battles, but your silence declares that you don't belong to that chaos. Like a meadow stretching under sunlight, quiet yet teeming with life, your silence is a testament to inner strength. It tells the world you don't need to bark to be heard, nor roar to be respected. You are a green hill, standing serene in a valley, needing no words to tell your story. My dear, silence is the key that unlocks the door to spiritual maturity. It teaches you that not every battle is worth fighting, not every criticism worth answering. When you stand still, you let the one who loves you lead, like a breeze guiding a kite to soar. Your silence is an invitation for him to act, a space for him to paint the canvas of your life. So when the world's noise tries to overwhelm you, let silence be your strength. Let it be the lighthouse guiding you through darkness, the wind lifting you above the storm, and the proof that you, my dear, are invincible. My beloved, amidst the clamour of life, hasty promises, endless arguments, and anxieties roaring in the mind, there is a sacred space where you can find clarity, silence. Like a night sky, quietly unveiling its stars, silence is not an emptiness, but a door leading you to the gentle voice of the one who created you. It is the moment you stop speaking, stop chasing the noise, and let your heart settle, like a calm sea reflecting the moonlight. In that stillness, God does not shout. He whispers, and that whisper carries healing, guidance, and purpose. When you stand amidst the gusting winds of life, you may feel the pressure to find answers, to speak up, to act immediately. But my dear, God speaks in the stillness. He does not compete with the world's noise, nor interrupt your complaints. Like a soft breeze threading through leaves, his voice is gentle, waiting for you to pause and listen. I once knew a woman, a devoted gardener, spending her days tending flower beds. When her work was criticized, she didn't argue. She quietly knelt by the soil, her hands touching the petals, and in that stillness, she felt a profound comfort, as if God were saying, "You're doing well. Keep going." Her silence became a meeting place where she heard his voice more clearly than ever. Silence is the space where you connect with God, where you not only speak, but listen. When you are silent, you become moldable in the potter's hands. Like soft clay in the hands of a craftsman, your silence allows God to shape your soul, heal your wounds, and draw the path ahead. Think of a golden wheat field. swaying silently in the breeze. It doesn't shout to herald the harvest, its stillness is a promise of life. So too, when you are silent, you open your heart to God's guidance, letting Him plant seeds of hope in your soul. I once met a man working in a warehouse, facing long, stressful days. When work pressure made him want to explode, he chose to step outside, stand beneath a tree, and let silence envelop him. In those quiet moments, he felt peace, like a cool river flowing through arid days. He shared that in silence, he heard a gentle voice reminding him he wasn't alone. That silence not only calmed his mind, but led him to wise decisions, helping him overcome challenges and find purpose in his work. My dear, silence is an invitation to step into God's presence, where He needs no microphone to reach your heart. Like sunlight filtering through leaves, His voice pierces through worries, bringing comfort and strength. In stillness, you not only find answers, but find yourself, the person God created, with dreams and purposes He bestowed. I once saw a mother, after sleepless nights, worrying for her child, sitting quietly by a window, watching dew sparkle on leaves. In that silence, she felt God's nearness, as if He were embracing her, soothing her fears. Her silence became a bridge, drawing her closer to an endless source of hope. Silence is not avoidance, but a meaningful surrender to God's love and plan. Like a hill standing quietly in a valley, your silence declares that you trust Him, that you are ready to listen. When you are silent, you create space for God to speak, to guide you through paths you could not find alone. So when the world grows too loud, when your heart feels heavy, find a quiet corner. Let silence be the door to God's voice, where you find healing, purpose, and eternal peace. My beloved, when shadows of doubt and injustice fall, when lies echo like thunder, and when your heart cries out for justice, there is a power surpassing all noise: silence. Not the silence of surrender, but the silence of a trusting soul, like a lighthouse standing firm amidst crashing waves, shining without words. It is an act of faith, a declaration that you need not fight with your tongue, for the one who made the waves will fight for you. In that stillness, you are not merely standing still, you are letting God act. And when He acts, victory is always His. Silence, my dear, is a sacred strategy, a quiet worship. Silence is not surrender, it is strategy. It is the choice to believe that the greatest battles are won not with words, but with faith in the one who sees all. Like a river flowing quietly through a valley, carving its path over time, your silence is a patient strength, paving the way for miracles only God can bring. I once knew a woman, a skilled weaver, slandered by neighbors for her success. They said she was unworthy, that she had deceived to gain her place. She didn't respond. She quietly continued weaving, each thread telling a story of her perseverance. One day, her fabrics were displayed at a grand fair, and the truth shone silently, overshadowing every lie. Her silence, like morning sunlight piercing the fog, led her to victory without a single argument. When you choose silence before accusations, you don't relinquish your power. You entrust it to the one with infinite power. When you are silent in obedience, you give God room to act. Think of a field of wildflowers, blooming quietly in barren soil. It doesn't shout to draw attention, its beauty testifies to the life within. So too, your silence is a testament to your faith, a declaration that you trust God's justice over your own defense. I once met a man, a truck driver, mocked by colleagues for his dedication. They said he worked too hard, that he'd never be rewarded. He didn't argue. He quietly drove through long roads, praying in his silent cabin. One day, his company named him Employee of the Year, and those who mocked him fell silent. His silence, like a cool breeze through a desert, opened the way for the recognition he deserved. Silence is the warfare of a trusting soul, needing no shouts or pointing fingers. It is the strength of one who knows God's justice is never late. Like the sky after a storm, quietly revealing a rainbow, your silence is a promise of good things to come. I once saw a single mother facing harsh judgment from her community. They said she wasn't strong enough to raise her child alone, that she would fail. She didn't respond. She quietly worked, held her child close each night, and prayed in stillness. Years later, her child graduated with a radiant smile, and the old criticisms vanished like morning dew under the sun. Her silence was not weakness, but a steadfast flame, burning bright through dark days. My dear, your silence is an invitation for God to step into your battles. It is the stance of one who knows that what the world tries to take, God will restore tenfold. Like a hill standing quietly in a valley, your silence declares that you don't need to shout to be heard, nor fight to be defended. I once knew a street vendor, looked down upon by customers for his simple appearance. He didn't argue. He quietly smiled, handing out fresh bundles of vegetables, and gradually his kindness won the hearts of the entire market. His silence, like a cool stream flowing through dry land, accomplished what words could not. When you are silent, you not only triumph over external enemies, but over the storms within. Silence is how you tell the world you are protected, that you belong to the one who never forsakes you. Like a gentle moon illuminating the night, your silence is a guiding light, a promise that God is working even when you cannot see. So, when lies resound, when battles draw near, stand still. Let silence be your act of faith, the bridge leading you to the victory only God can grant. My beloved, when life's storms roar, when criticisms try to bring you down, and when your heart cries for rest, remember there is a sacred power awaiting you. Silence. It is not the absence of a voice, but the crown of the soul, forged in faith, adorned with hope, and radiant with the love of the one who created you. Like a mountain standing quietly through seasons of wind, your silence is a testament to an enduring strength, a promise that you need not shout to be heard, nor fight to be defended. In stillness, you find yourself, a soul loved, guided, and healed. Silence is not surrender, but the quiet triumph of a trusting soul, the moonlight piercing the dark night, leading you to the shores of peace and purpose. It is the moment you stand still, like a calm lake reflecting the sky, letting God paint the canvas of your life. Each time you choose silence before lies, you are not giving up. You are entrusting the battle to the one who never loses. Like a field of wildflowers, blooming quietly in barren soil, your silence declares that you belong to a greater plan, a story only God can write. I once saw a blacksmith, hands roughened by fire, working silently amidst mockery. He didn't respond, but each hammer strike was a prayer, and in time, his creations left the village in awe. His silence, like sunlight filtering through leaves, shone forth his worth without a word. Silence is where you hear God's whisper, where he comforts your wounds, guides your steps, and plants dreams in your heart. Like a river flowing quietly through a valley, it needs no roar to carve its path. Your silence, too, etches your mark on the hearts around you. When you are silent, you not only preserve your dignity, but you stir other souls, like a rainbow quietly appearing after rain, carrying a promise of hope. I once met a flower seller by the roadside, arranging her bouquets amidst the market's clamour. She didn't argue with complaints, but her smile and dedication brought customers back with gratitude. Her silence, like dew sparkling on petals, beautified an entire street corner. My dear, your silence is a journey, from a sacred sanctuary through a protective shield to a confident strength, and finally a door to God's voice. It is an act of faith, a flame burning quietly, never extinguished, guiding you through dark days to eternal light. Like a night sky cradling the stars, your silence is where God places blessings, where he turns tears into smiles, pain into triumph. So when the world grows too loud, when your heart feels heavy, find a quiet corner. Let silence be your crown, a testament that you are a child of the one who loves you above all. My dear, you have been given the strength to stand firm, to trust, to shine through silence. Embrace it, like a seabird soaring through a storm, fearless and unshaken. Let your silence tell a story of faith, hope, and love. And as you walk, wearing that crown, share your story. In the comments below, tell us about a moment when silence changed you, brought you closer to your purpose. And if this message touches your heart, subscribe to our channel to join us in exploring spiritual journeys where we find meaning and healing through the simplest things.